Hey guys, okay, so stick with me for this whole video because I want to give you your, let's call it a weekly challenge, where you identify your crutch, but also a win, right? And I think about this a lot because for both sides, I think oftentimes we're so hard on ourselves that we allow that these crutches can kind of take over even temporarily, but we at the same time don't recognize the W's, don't recognize the wins. So let me give you an example for me. So if I think about a crutch, if I'm stressed or if things aren't going my way, or as it relates to transition, if things aren't going quickly enough, as according to my mind, how quickly I want them to go, then for me it's always food. I always want to go to food because that's something that I believe in that moment is going to make me happy. So that's me being open to say that that's an issue that I always struggle with, and it's always something I have to think about, trying not to go back to that food, right? So that's mine. But then as far as wins, do I think, for example, when I was excited because I wanted to get my surgery all scheduled and I had everything, I believed, all my ducks in a row, but it was delayed, or not delayed, but the time that I could get to schedule it was much farther than I expected. For me, I just felt instantly like it was a loss. But what I didn't think about was, well, what about the wins in this situation? I mean, during that time that I was waiting, I was able to allow hormones to keep doing their thing. I was allowed to and afforded myself the opportunity to get myself prepared in other ways, as I've talked in other videos, with the hair removal, etc. Also, I was able to confirm that I had a surgical team that I trusted, and still to this day that I feel like I can ask any questions to. So there's all these things that I was going into it that and also, you know, the biggest one is becoming more confident in my decision. I always talk about taking a step and checking in. While I was waiting for that time, which at first seemed like really long, that was time I was able to use to say, well, I'm getting closer and closer. Does this feel right? And for me, the answer is yes. That was a win. That was a W. And then I got to the surgery and it was a really big W. So just something to keep in mind. I think we sometimes go to our crutches without thinking about the fact that there are many W's if you really look at it in the right context. So identify what yours are, and try to see how you can manage them, and let me know if you're brave enough. What are your crutches? What are your wins?